Getting a divorce in North Carolina is actually simpler than you might think. Either spouse must be a resident of North Carolina for at least 6 months before filing. Divorce may be filed in the county of residence of either spouse. Once the residency requirement is completed, a legal grounds for a divorce must be established. Both general and no-fault divorce are acceptable grounds for divorce. No-fault reasons include living separate and apart without cohabitation for 1 year. The reasons for general divorce are confinement for incurable insanity for 3 years or incurable mental illness based on examination for 3 years. North Carolina does not require a parenting plan for child custody. Joint or sole custody is determined according to the interests and welfare of the child. There is no presumption that either parent is better suited to have custody. No other factors for consideration are specified in the statute. Both parents are responsible for the support of a child, and either parent may be ordered to pay support. The factors considered are the needs of the child, the relative ability of the parents to provide support, the child care and homemaker contributions of each parent, the assets of the child, and any other relevant factors. The official child support guidelines are presumed correct unless there is a showing that the amount of support would be unjust or inappropriate. Child support worksheets are also provided. Child support may be paid through the court clerk. Income withholding may be used if child support payments are overdue. Child support obligations may need to be secured by a bond or mortgage. Furthermore, the court may require a parent to provide health insurance coverage for a child. North Carolina is an equitable distribution state. Separate property includes any property acquired before the marriage, any gifts and inheritances acquired during the marriage, any property acquired in exchange for separate property, and any increase in the value of separate property will be retained by the spouse who owns it. Marital property will be divided equally unless the court finds an equal division is not fair. The division is based on any direct or indirect contributions to the career or education of the other spouse, any depletion or waste of property, the net value of the property, the liquid or non-liquid character of the property, the contribution of each spouse to the acquisition of the marital property, including the contribution of each spouse as homemaker, the economic circumstances of each spouse at the time the division of property is to become effective, any increase or decrease in the value of the separate property of the spouse during the marriage, or the depletion of the separate property for marital purposes, the length of the marriage, the age and health of the spouses, the federal income tax consequences of the court's division of the property, liabilities of the spouses, any retirement benefits, including Social Security, civil service, military, and railroad retirement benefits, any prior alimony or child support obligations of each spouse, the desirability of the spouse with custody of any children occupying the marital residence, and any other factor necessary to do equity and justice between the spouses. Either spouse may be awarded alimony. The factors for consideration are the standard of living established during the marriage, the comparative financial resources of the spouses, including their comparative earning abilities in the labor market and their incomes, the mental, physical, and emotional conditions of the spouses, the marital misconduct of the spouses, the ages of the spouses, the contribution of one spouse to the education, training, or earning power of the other spouse, the effect of a spouse having primary custody of a child, the relative education of the spouses, and the time necessary for a spouse to acquire sufficient education or training to become self-sufficient, the contribution of a spouse as homemaker, the tax consequences, and any other factor the court deems just and equitable. The court may require bond for security for the alimony payments. Alimony may not be paid to a spouse who committed adultery. If child custody is a contested issue, the court may order the parents to submit to mandatory mediation of that issue. Visit us today at www.mydivorcepapers.com and click on North Carolina at the bottom of the page. Let mydivorcepapers.com help you file for divorce today.